our opening ceremonies.
The linesmen, les juges de ligne des États-Unis, from the United States, Mr. Kevin Collins. Du Canada, from Canada, Mr. John D'Amico. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the lineups for tonight's game. Mesdames et messieurs, l'alignement débutant pour les matchs de ce soir. For Team USA, pour l'équipe des États-Unis. In goals, dans les filets. Number 34, numéro 34, John Van Beesbrook. À la défense, en défense. Number 4, numéro 4, Kevin Hatcher. Number 5, le numéro 5, Rod Langway. Au centre, at center, number 21, le numéro 21, Bob Carpenter. At right wing, à l'aile droite, number 26, numéro 26, Ed Olchuk. At left wing, à l'aile gauche, number 29, numéro 29, Joel Otto. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Mr. Bob Johnson. The assistant coaches, les entraîneurs adjoints, Mr. Ted Saylor and Mr. Doug Wolf. Et maintenant, pour l'équipe Canada, and now for Team Canada. In goals, dans les filets, number 31, le numéro 31, Grant Fuhr. En défense, à la défense, number 4, numéro 4, Craig Artsberg. Number 5, numéro 5, Normand Rochefort. Center, au centre, number 11, numéro 11, Mark Messier. At left wing, à l'aile gauche, le numéro 22, number 22, Rick Tuckett. At right wing, à l'aile droite, number 32, numéro 32, Claude Lemieux. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Mr. Mike Keenan. The assistant coaches, les entraîneurs adjoints, Jean Perron, John Butler, and Tom Watt. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, first of all, I would like to ask the two captains, as it is the custom in international hockey, to come to center ice and exchange gifts on behalf of their teams. Les deux capitaines au centre de la glace pour l'échange traditionnel dans les matchs internationaux.
Teams about to meet here tonight. The United States, they will be shooting against the goaltender many regard as the best in the business, Grant Fuhr from the Edmonton Oilers.
And the United States lineup not dressed for the United States. Joey Mullen, he'll be missed. He has a tender knee. Defenseman Dave Ellen also not dressed tonight. All NHLers except Olympian Corey Miller.
And Grant Fuhr from Edmonton playing in his third consecutive game in this series, the 87 Canada Cup. And the other end from the New York Rangers, John Van Beesbrook, and the Canadian team that will be shooting against the Ranger goaltender.
And power-laden Team Canada that now includes Glenn Anderson. He'll be playing for the first time in the tournament. Doug Gilmour is out along with defenseman James Patrick. The backup goaltender is Ron Hextall. So that means that Kelly Rudy won't be dressed for tonight's game.
The referee is from Finland, Carl Gustav Kaisola. Kevin Collins of the United States and John D'Amico of Canada. The linesmen were underway, and Kevin Hatcher, number 4 for Team USA, flips it in. Fuhr trying to knock it away from the forechecker. Cleared it on the boards. Ron Langway held it in. His shot is blocked. Now taken by Joe Alotto. Centering pass. Knocked away, but held in by Ed Olczyk for Team USA. Over to get it, Rochefort. He's knocked down. And we're going to get a penalty here against Team USA here in the first minute. As in there forechecking too aggressively was Bob Carpenter, number 21. Now, of course, of the Los Angeles Kings in an early power play for Canada.
Now, Bobby Carpenter getting into the game very early. There is Carl Gustav Kaiser. You don't know whether he's going to call it tight or not. They sometimes let the North American teams go at it. Here it is. That's just a caller on Craig Hartsburg. So Carpenter is in the penalty box.
They'd call that in any league.
Oh, yeah.
A roughing penalty after just 23 seconds. And Canada will send out its power play alignment. Messier is out there. Gretzky is there. So is Mario Lemieux. Bob Johnson, the United States coach, former coach of the Calgary Flames. Here's Bob Brook out against Messier. The point men, by the way, are Hartsburg and Coffey. Shot in by Mike Ramsey for Team USA. Back to get it and carrying out is Hartsburg. Beats Messier. He fired it in. Van Beesbrook leaves it for Chelios. And he cleared it by Coffey. And Canada will have to retreat, but not as deeply as they might have as the puck hit the linesman. Back comes Hartsburg, number 4. He's tied up. Messier now tying play up. And Chelios with Kelly Miller clear it out of there for the United States. A minute and a half left in the penalty. Number 77, Paul Coffey. Hitting Mario Lemieux. Lemieux taken out of the play on a good defensive play by Mike Ramsey, and then it's shot away. Now here's Gretzky. Team's changing on the fly. Gretzky, number 99, centering it. Cleared, held in by Hartsburg. Shoots, and Beesbrook got a stick on that. Here's Lemieux to Coffey. To Hartsburg. Shooting, whacking it wide, and fanning on it is Gretzky. Gretzky still with the puck. Puts it in front. Shot away by Kevin Hatcher.
Well, great chance for Hartsburg, and then another good opportunity as he got the puck back, but a bouncing puck that hopped over Gretzky's stick.
Here's Coffey. Has Deneen with him. Drops it back to Brian Propp. Shoots right on. Van Beesbrook sprawling save. And Team USA cleared on the boards. Held in, but now Bob Brook, number 13, shoots it away, and Ray Bourque has to go back and get it. 26 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Ray Bourque from the Boston Bruins for Team Canada. To Propp. Shot it in. Loose puck. Deneen gets it. Couldn't get a shot off. Now Deneen back on the point over to Murphy. In on the wing to Propp. Back to Murphy again. To Propp. Shot deflected. Now Howardchuk trying to shot. Housley blocked that. Here's Propp. Into Howardchuk. Howardchuk gets it in front. Penalized player comes back on. And Phil Housley, number 6. Beats it to Carpenter, who's fresh out of the penalty box. Carpenter's drive is high and wide. Bounced in front and Fuhr and scoop it up and held on to it. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
I think the best tempo, if you like to use that word, and coaches seem to like to use it a lot, early in the game that Canada has shown so far in this tournament. To take a game against their peers, as it were, from the United States to bring out the best in a Team Canada.
And I think a big crowd here at the Cup-87 will add to both of these teams' play here tonight, Ron.
This game is a sellout here in Hamilton. So from a 4,000 crowd of the other night, suddenly the Canada Cup, as it usually does, is beginning to pick up momentum.
Face-off is going to be deep in Team Canada's end of the ring. By the way, in 4 exhibition or pre-tournament games, Canada won all 4, including their last meeting, 11-2. And a lot of people wonder if that United States 11-2 shellacking may show up here tonight and fire up the United States team.
Well, there were a couple of very close games. There was a shutout registered by Kelly Rudy in Montreal, a very close game in which Patrick Roy, the Canadiens goaltender, performed very well in Ottawa. So they all weren't lopsided. There was just the one lopsided game. So we look at Rick Tocchet playing in his first Canada Cup and playing very well and very consistently. Maybe the most consistent forward, he and Claude Lemieux. Youngster from the Flyers, former soccer player with the Toronto Blizzard.
Tocchet is out there on the line with Gretzky and Michel Goulet, as Canada's made some line changes for this game. Here's Chris Chelios losing it to Gretzky. Centered it in front, and it's knocked away by the United States, and now carried by Presley and shot into center ice. Picking it up there, Pat LaFontaine, but Coffey checked him. Coffey right in front of his own goal, gives it to Gretzky. Now to Goulet. Chelios is there defensively, number 24 for Team USA. Loses it. Now Goulet trying to center, and Kelly Miller intercepts for the United States. Miller, number 11. Moving in, shoots one, Fuhr the save, and with Suter cruising near the net, he held on to it for a faceoff. Faceoff is going to be deep in Team Canada's end of the rink. No score. We have 16:43 left in the first period.
Some close calls early in this game. You know, you look at the history of Canada versus the United States in World Tournament play and in the Canada Cup. And they're famous, no matter what the quality of the teams are, famous for being very hard-hitting, tough kinds of hockey games. I've seen some real barn burners in Europe when these two teams have met on the other side of the ocean.
We'll see more of the North American variety of hockey tonight.
Even when they play on that big ice surface overseas. There's a guy who has seen an awful lot of international hockey over the years and loves it. He's going to see a lot more in his new position as the head of what they call Hockey USA now, the American Hockey Association of the United States.
Face-off, Bob Brook against Brent Sutter. Puck went near the Team Canada goal. Now Howard Chuck taken out of the play, and there forechecking very hard is Kurt Fraser. Canada tried to clear it out. Langway held it in. Rod Langway's shot knocked down by Bork. And Bork feeds it out of there, and Canada come to center ice. Here comes Larry Murphy. Murphy moving in, knocked off the puck by Fraser with a good clean check to Chris Nyland. But hustling back is Bork. And it's shot into the center ice area. Here's Murphy taking Brent Sutter's pass, shoots it in. Van Beesbrook cleared it. Hatcher knocking it on the boards, and Chris Nyland, number 30, from the Montreal Canadiens, bumped by Sutter. Now Hatcher goes back. And Hatcher cleared it and cleared it right up over into the Team USA bench. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Chris Nyland, there's no question about his involvement in a hockey game. During the 1984 Canada Cup, he was not involved because of an injury, but he was involved in extracurricular kind of thing. He got in a fight with Rick Vive in a corridor during the training camp.
He's out of Boston and a member of the Montreal Canadiens, and as tough as they come. Here's Hartsburg for Team Canada as now Rochefort cleared it, and Glenn Anderson circles back, number 9. Anderson's first action of this 87 Canada Cup. Now Gartner feeding at Rochefort, who cleared it in. Shot out of there by the United States, held in by Gartner. Gartner in front, fanning on it was Anderson. And now the United States with Olchek beating Bob Carpenter. Too far for him. Fuhr knocking it away. Puck in the corner. Carpenter battling with Hartsburg. They got their sticks up, and Gartner drops it back of the net to Messier. He fires it out. Messier on a line with Gartner and Glenn Anderson. Back to get it in the United States zone is Ramsey. Shot it into center ice as teams were changing. And then play is called. And we'll get a stoppage.
I'm sorry, Dan. Glenn Anderson making his first appearance for Team Canada. He was hit by Scott Stevens during training camp and suffered what they call a stretched ligament in his knee, and has missed the first 3 games. Or just making his first appearance now here in the tournament.
This program is protected by copyright. Any use of this telecast without permission is prohibited. Mario Lemieux out on a face-off, winning the draw, but Bob Brook comes up with it, and Chelios then flips it to center. So Brook is one of the centers that Bob Johnson wants out there to check some of the big Team Canada centers. Brook out there now against Lemieux. Here's Murphy beating one to Prop, knocked away from him. Now Murphy gets it again. Shot it in, and Nyland Now it's picked up by Lemieux, and breaking out is Fraser on right wing. Fraser trying to get it to Nyland. Bork knocks it away, and Barry Lemieux takes over. Over to Murphy. Larry Murphy, number 8, flips it in. Chelios back to get it. Whacks it up on the boards. Picked up by Nyland. Nyland breaks out on right wing, has Fraser with him. Here's Chris Nyland to Kurt Fraser. Shooting, saved by Pure, his toughest of the game, and Murphy cleared it to Lemieux at center, but he's well taken out by Gary Suter. Back comes Chelios. Shoots one. Pure a save. Cleared it away to Bork. Now to Kevin Dineen, number 14. Dineen gets it into center ice. Crossman was checked there, and it's shot back into center ice. That's a two-line offside as Mark Johnson took Rod Langway's pass.
Well, the Team Canada and also the United States settling down into a checking pattern here. The shots are not from very close in, but certainly there's not much doubt about the way the teams are involved in this one. As you mentioned, Dan, this was the best save that Grant Pure has had to come up with. A shot that seemed to, as he faded away a little bit, Chelios let it go, and a low shot that seemed to get Pure going a little bit the wrong way on it. Still made the save.
Back to the live action. This is Paul Coffey back in Team Canada zone to get a loose puck. Firing it out on right wing. Goulet taken up. Gretzky hustling in after it. Gretzky gets it. Looking to center. Gets the late man Coffey. Shot blocked by Langway. And back comes Mark Johnson against Crossman, and it rolled off Johnson's stick, and Crossman was there to make the play. Langway going back. He made a big block of a shot moments ago. His pass to Mark Johnson. Now to Corey Millen. Tipped in by Aaron Broughton, number 10. And going back and picking it up is Hartsburg for Canada. Hartsburg doing some nifty stick handling. Fires it in. Ramsey back for the United States. Mike Ramsey from the Buffalo Sabres speeding it out. Picked up on the fly by Housley. Housley leaving it for LaFontaine, and a stick save by Pure. Now Kelly Miller trying to center. Given a rough ride by Gartner, who cleared it into center ice. Dumped back into Norman Rochefort. Number 5 back to get it for Canada. Rochefort trying to hit Messier. It goes the length of the ice. And as Mike Ramsey goes back to touch it, icing called against Team Canada. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Best 2 recent scoring chances have been for the United States. First Chelios, and then this nifty little drop pass. Housley for LaFontaine. He's got a great shot and an ability to score. That one did not get by goaltender Grant Pure.
Face-off won by the United States. Chelios shooting just wide. Now Suter at the other point poking it in. And Rochefort is there to clear it to Howardchuk. Dale Howardchuk from the Winnipeg Jets to Claude Lemieux. Here's Lemieux, number 32, with a shot, and Van Beesbrook handles that. And then it's cleared into center ice by the United States. Carpenter just backhanding it down. Hartsburg going back to get it. No score. We're approaching the 8-minute mark here in the first period. Shot out onto the wing, and Canada pick it up. Howardchuk flipping it in. Now they center to Lemieux, backhander. Now Brent Sutter behind the net to Howardchuk, off his skate and then diving out. Van Beesbrook to grab it, and then Claude Lemieux and Chelios push at each other. Hey, they're teammates with the Montreal Canadiens.
That'll never bother either one of them, I'll tell you that right now. This is a hockey game, and they're wearing different uniforms. Sutter out in front, Howardchuk jamming the net. That's something we haven't seen enough of from Team Canada or many of the teams involved in this tournament. And there is Claude Lemieux. As we mentioned, there's no quarter asked or given. Look at, he's talking to Nyland. And I'll get you next time. Nyland, of course, had some problems, or Team Canada had some problems with Nyland. There was a game in Montreal in which Nyland tried at least twice during the game to provoke a fight with Rick Tocchet. Tocchet turned his back at one point and skated off the ice because of the edict that was given by Mike Keenan and his coaching staff that any fighting will seriously damage your possibility of making the team. Then the next game out, Wendell Clark did get in a fight with Chris Nyland, and although it was never admitted, I'm sure that entered into the thinking when finally Wendell Clark was cut from this team.
Here's Bork from the point with a shot wide of the net. A good hard low shot, but off the target. Fraser clears it to center. No score as Canada flip it in. Hatcher there to try and knock it out. Messier had it for a moment, and now Langway leading a four-man rush, beats Fraser. Kurt Fraser's long shot. Here comes Nyland and Gartner battling for it, and Bork breaks back for Canada. Bork has Gartner with him. Trailing on the play, Messier. Now fired in by Bork. Shot around on the boards, and nobody there to hold it in, and Murphy has to chase back for Canada. Over to Bork. Fired in. Van Beesbrook leaves it for Mike Ramsey. Ramsey to Fraser, number 8 for the United States, to Phil Housley. Housley moving in, shoots off the blocker of Pure and up into the glass and then knocked behind the net. Taking over is Doug Crossman. To Gartner. Gartner into Crossman. Crossman put it through the crease. Nobody there. Prop shoots one. That's high off the glass and bounces all the way back into Team Canada zone. Mike Gartner hustles back. Cleared it to center. This game going at quite a pace. Mark Johnson takes a hit, drops it to Ramsey. Now to Housley, to Aaron Broughton. Broughton flips it in. Crossman back for Canada. Housley holding it in. Or Ramsey it was that held it in, and now Prop drops it back of the net, and Canada start out of there. Long pass to Deneen at center. That's intercepted by Presley. Now Mario Lemieux dropping it to Crossman. Over to Coffey. Back to Crossman. Into center ice. Dumped in by Prop. Here's Mario Lemieux centering one. Knocked away at the United States defense as Suter cleared it away in a hurry. And Suter takes a run and knocks Deneen flying. And Deneen gets up slowly. Back comes Presley. He got it into the zone. Now Chelios is there. Deneen, by the way, goes very slowly to the Team Canada bench. He's been shaken up on that check by Suter. Now the hitting getting rather ferocious as Miller was bumped. Here's Suter. Now Hartsburg knocks it away. Stolen. LaFontaine shoots. He scores! Pat LaFontaine. And the United States takes the lead.
And while all this is going on and the celebration is on for the United States, Kevin Deneen is being helped to the dressing room. Let's take a look at it. The steal by Suter. LaFontaine. Good wrist shot. Not much Pure can do at all. Puck is hooked free there. Number 20, Gary Suter. And here comes LaFontaine hopping on the loose puck. Good goal. A lot of work, a lot of effort by the USA pays off.
Pat LaFontaine's third goal of this Canada Cup. He was a 38-goal man last year with the New York Islanders. LaFontaine from St. Louis, Missouri, but grew up in Detroit. And it's 1-0 for Team USA. Now Eddie Olczyk firing it in. Back to get it is Bork for Canada. Bork firing a long one in. Digging in now is Rick Tocchet. Tocchet taken out by Langway and Hatcher. Works it to Aaron Broughton. Flipped into center, and Larry Murphy has it for the United States. Murphy giving it to Bork. Canada has fallen behind here on the goal by LaFontaine. Here's Rick Tocchet. Flips it in. Van Beesbrook plays the puck, then fires it up on the boards. Broughton couldn't get it. Here's Bork. Centered, deflected. Van Beesbrook to save as Goulet deflected it, then had a whack on it. Play is called, and then Langway and Tocchet almost get into it. Told you this would be North American type hockey. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, some great action in front of the net that got a little more vigorous than I think the coaches wanted. Here's the shot by Bork coming in now, bouncing puck. Now watch as Tocchet jams it. Now it's Tocchet moving in, and he threw an elbow at Langway. Langway then took it across the side of the neck, and that's what started all the pushing and shoving. Meanwhile, Van Beesbrook managed managed to make the save. However, a little earlier before the goal, as we see Langway worked on that's where he took the stick across the side of his neck, and he's just getting that checked. All right, now here's what happened to Kevin Dineen. Suter is the one that ran into him, and watch the leg. It seemed to double back as he went into the corner on a good, clean hit by Suter, who had a good shift because he caused the turnover in the other end of the ice as well. But look at the problems that Kevin Dineen is having now getting to the bench, and when he got to that bench, he was really in trouble, and he had to be helped to the dressing room area. And just as he got to the gate, somebody skated by and gave him a whack as the gate opened. Here it is, just backed right into him. So that's just a rough ride all the way around for Kevin Dineen.
Minor penalties to Langway for high sticking, to Tocchet for roughing. Langway, by the way, has been cut, and he's over at the Team USA bench and is going to have to return to the dressing room for some stitches.
Watch this jam, and here's Langway. Now there's the shot he took. Now he pushes back. He gets the crack across the side of the head, and reaction kind. And I think that the calls made by Carl Gustav Kairsla of Finland were perfectly legitimate. And Bob Johnson, I don't know what his complaint is now, except I guess there's an injury caused. There is not a rule for drawing blood in hockey, but there is a rule for creating injury in the process of committing a foul. But there were 2 fouls there, and both of them were called.
By the way, all penalties are served in international hockey. They don't use the coincidental minor penalty rule as they do in the NHL, so each team will be a man short here. Kairsla getting some words from veteran linesman John D'Amico. Kairsla is from Finland, by the way.
While we're waiting for this to get underway here, let's take a look at it again. Van Beesbrook's the guy right in the middle of it. Here's a shot across the ear. That's where he got cut, across the ear. That hurts. It rings a couple of bells, too. And Rick Tocchet involved. You knew this was going to happen. This generally happens when these two teams meet. And you may not see it the rest of the tournament, as discipline seems to go to the 4 wins when North Americans meet North Americans, but then they settle down when they have to play the European team.
The other thing to remember is if you fight in this competition, you get thrown out of the game and you're suspended for the next one. So both these teams would have to be cautious because they each have big games coming up. Here's Gretzky in behind the net for Prop. Back to Gretzky. He's tied up on the play by Housley. Gretzky gets free, centered, bouncing puck, and unable to handle it was Prop in front of the net. Here's Big Joe Olato, number 29, in with Carpenter. Pass to Carpenter. Coffey took the man and got the puck and then cleared it to Gretzky. Misses him. Mike Ramsey going back, but Van Beesbrook plays it. Shot on the boards. Carpenter couldn't get it out, and now racing over is Ramsey, but he lets Otto take over. To Mike Ramsey. 2-on-2 break. Ramsey with Carpenter. Ramsey tied up by Coffey. Shoots from a bad angle. Fuhr makes the save and gives it to Coffey, number 77. Each team a man short. Coffey to Gretzky. Lead pass to Glenn Anderson. Suter took him out. Now it's shot in by Crossman. And Chelios is back for Team USA. Chelios moving it to Kelly Miller. Miller gets away from Anderson. Now shot it to the line. Murphy knocks it down. Murphy loses to Bob Brook. Now Murphy gets it back again. Drops it to Bork. United States doing an excellent checking job at this point as they're completely bottling Canada up. Here's Brook. Drops it back. Shot by Miller into center ice, and here's Chelios. Into Suter. Suter shoots right on. Fuhr to his knees to make the save. And then hold on to it for a faceoff. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. I'm Dan Kelly. It's 1-0 for Team USA. 6:54 left in the first period.
Well, at the outset of the telecast, Mike Keenan mentioned that one of the things that the USA has been doing in its games is bottling up the center ice zone. Well, you're seeing a lot of that in this game so far.
Hatcher with a shot that's wide. Here's Housley. Flipping it in. Norman Rochefort is there. He's tied up by Aaron Broughton, and now Gartner for Canada. Mike Gartner over to the defenseman Hartsburg. He got it to center. Shot right back by Hatcher, but now Rochefort tried, and here comes Mark Johnson. Check from behind by Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, number 66. Moves in, chopped at by Hatcher and lost it, and Housley to Olchek. Olchek out of the penalty box after serving Langway's penalty. He gets knocked down, and back to get it is Rochefort to Gartner. Team's back at full strength. Gartner trying to feed one up on the wing to Propp. Brian Propp centers it. Now Gartner to Lemieux. Couldn't get it in front, and Miller, number 11, for Team USA, feeds Gary Suter. Now to Chelios. Chelios dropping it back. Presley shot. Hit LaFontaine, deflected wide. LaFontaine centered. Presley fanned on it. Now Kelly Miller a shot. LaFontaine a backhander that Pure had to stop. Here's Suter at the point. He shot it wide. Miller over to pick it up. Crossman ties him up. In comes Mario Lemieux. Shot out into center ice by Canada. The United States taking it right to Canada at this point. They're leading 1-0 and outplaying them. Here's Suter shooting it down the ice. Digging in is Presley, and that's going to be called back in an offside pass. 5:15 left in the first period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, the United States is doing a terrific job of penetrating the Team Canada defenses. They hit the line, and they're... Let's take a look at it. As you can see, Team Canada here on the rush as they hit the line.
3 men back there for Team USA.
3 men, and they're handling it very well. They're just overloading, and of course Canada's not getting through at all. They need to get a little bit, I think, a few shorter passes to help them a little bit.
United States has outshot Canada 10-8 to this point and lead 1-0. Here's the man that's had the goal, Pat LaFontaine, firing it in. Presley in to get it. Murphy leaves it for Bork. Here's Bork to Dale Howardchuk with Claude Lemieux and Brent Sutter dumped in. Van Beesbrook out to fire it on the boards. Now the United States is Ramsey knocked it ahead with a hand pass to number 14 Wayne Presley, and that's called back because of a hand pass.
Well, there's Wayne Presley of the Chicago Blackhawks. He played with a Memorial Cup champion in Kitchener, Ontario, but he's from the Chicago area. Actually from the Detroit area, as are many of his teams. As a matter of fact, the city of Detroit is the highest representation of any city on Team USA. They have a total of 5 members from Detroit, including Van Beesbrook, Hatcher, Kelly Miller, Presley, of course, and Pat LaFontaine. And they also cut one, a youngster who I think we'll be seeing in later years, Jimmy Carson.
From the Los Angeles Kings. He was a big goal scorer as a rookie, but they didn't feel he had the tempo at this level at this time. Here's Nyland trying to get it out, couldn't, and Hatcher feeds it into center ice. Fraser giving it to Chris Nyland. Nyland winding up, shoots, and a good save by Pure in traffic, and he held on to it. And then we get the skirmish in front of the net. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Chris Nyland, who is about to enter his 9th NHL season, and who would have bet that? A few years ago when Nyland came to the Montreal Canadiens, he was a late draft choice who was not even thought of, I don't think, by the Canadiens organization. He's worked very hard to stay in the NHL. I think over the years his play has improved quite a bit too, in his ability and his skills.
Really has. From the face-off and jam up on the boards. Nyland is in there bashing with Sutter. Now Sutter couldn't get it out. Fraser's shot handled by Pure. And Canada take over and try and work it out of there. Poked to center by Messier, and then Nyland shoots it back in. Fraser was trapped in there offside. And we'll get a face-off at Team Canada's blue line with 3:54 left in period 1.
Well, there's Kirk Fraser. Now, Kirk Fraser was born in the United States but moved to Canada at a very early age. However, he qualifies for Team USA. Fraser, who's I think been noted as a pretty tough guy over the years, and also has just a limited amount of international experience, and that experience actually was playing for Team Canada at the 1979 World Junior Championship in Montreal.
There's Murphy having to hustle to move a loose puck from in front of the net. Mark Johnson, number 12, shooting it into Canada's end. Canada trying to clear it out, and here comes Rick Tocchet. into center ice to Prop. Long shot, turned aside and fired out of there by Ramsey, and hustling after it is Corey Millen for USA. Centering one, good defensive play by Coffey to break it up. Canada then clear it to center. Corey Millen, who's in the lineup tonight, replacing Joe Mullen, who was unable to answer the bell because of a bruised knee. Here's Larry Murphy for Canada. Just flips it in, and Housley is there. Housley firing it back out. They leave it for Gretzky. Olczyk runs into him, and now Brian Prop has it. Prop couldn't get around Joel Otto. There's some tough checking by Olczyk on the far side. And now Tocchet getting into it with Otto. And they have to be separated by the linesman Kevin Collins. And hold on, Prop is getting into it at the other end, or the other side, with Olczyk.
Oh, the minor league skirmish rather, that I don't think is leading to anything, including penalties, I wouldn't imagine. So I'd like to remind you of our upcoming first intermission. Dan Matheson will be talking with Paul Coffey of Team Canada. U.S. head coach Bob Johnson will be joining Dan as well. Brad Park will have some of the highlights of this first period of play. Dan Kelly will be around with the Toyota scoreboard. USA 1, Canada 0 with 2:47 left in the period.
Only scoring play. LaFontaine and now Otto and Messier pushing each other as they were about to drop the puck. They're tossed out of there. Carpenter now Otto and Messier off to the side. Continue to argue with one another.
Mistake made there, I guess, is don't let them line up against each other when you kick them out of the face-off circle.
Well, all you can do is kick them off. You can't tell them where to line up. Well, they're still pushing at each other.
John D'Amico standing right behind him, watching very closely.
Claude Lemieux took the face-off. Canada win it. Hartsburg firing it in. And Otto upends Messier as that battle continues. And he's got to get an interference penalty. Otto and Messier continued to feud, and he hooked him down.
All right, we're going to watch this right from the face-off, and the referee knew something was going to happen here. Otto just didn't use good common sense here. A little shot there, that's fine. Now as they hit the line, Otto is going to interfere with Messier. There it is. And down he goes, and Otto draws the penalty. So,
well, Messier has the last word there.
I think so.
And he didn't have to say a thing. Joel Otto gets the interference call. 17-21 the time. Otto, one of those big centers we were talking about. 6'4", 220. Out of Minnesota. And there's a pretty big guy himself.
Well, and strong, and I think that's as much of a key. That's one of the reasons why they like Otto in the lineup. He can neutralize, or try to neutralize, a guy like Messier. Bob Johnson has been complaining a little bit in this first period.
Here's the United States being shorthanded. Bob Brooks able to clear it out of there, and Bork goes back to Gretzky, back to Larry Murphy. Canada with the man advantage. Here's Murphy to Gretzky. Flips it in. Bork hustling in. Bork tied up by Chelios. Brook tried to clear it. Gretzky held it in. Now to Bork, who has lost his stick. And then it's shot away by Brook, and Canada will have to retreat. 1:28 left in the penalty. Murphy to Coffey as Canada changes on the go. Back to Murphy. There's Brook, or at least up there forechecking now is Carpenter. And doing a very good job. He's in deep. Now he drops off, and Canada will carry it out of there, led by Murphy. Hitting Messier. Mark Messier around to Gretzky. Gretzky can't get it. Here's Murphy. Over to the other point. Crossman shoots one. That's high and wide. And Murphy going back to get it again. Now to Crossman. Cross to Gretzky. Over onto the other wing. Crossman couldn't get anywhere. Gretzky tried to carry in. Great play by Mark Johnson to break it up, and then he took some punishment from Crossman. Here's Bork to Messier. Back to Bork. Bork moving in. Feeds it to Crossman. Shot it right through the goal crease. And the United States get it, and Miller clears it away. 23 seconds left in the penalty. Great penalty killing here by Team USA.
Canada hasn't had a shot yet. And with this kind of power on the ice, it's hard to believe.
Here's Brent Sutter trying to carry in. Dropping it back for Murphy. Murphy to Mario Lemieux in behind the net. Now they center to Lemieux, put it right through the goal crease. Here's Bork back to Howardchuk. Howardchuk shoots one, deflected, and that went just wide as Brent Sutter got his stick on it. Penalized player is back on Joe Olato. So the United States has killed it off. Canada firing it in. And here is Joe Olato. Flips it to center. This game starting to heat up as Lemieux really gave Ottawa a stiff check. Here's Sutter. Shoots it in, then that's offside at Team USA's blue line. 13 seconds left in the period, and there's going to be some black and blue marks on some bodies on both sides tonight.
What a terrific game the United States is playing here. They are really after each other, but the United States is showing all of the discipline, and they seem to be stripping the lanes as far as Canada is concerned. Not really getting much of a chance to get across the line. Canada had just the one shot. Claude Lemieux continuing. I watched Lemieux and Otto. There's Lemieux. You mentioned that check that he threw. Lemieux went down more than Otto did. The lesser of that.
Here's the loose puck. Tocchet knocking it into Team USA's end. Chelios back to get it, number 24. 5 seconds left in the period. Bobby Carpenter firing it in. Cleared right back out by Team USA, and then Tocchet almost gets into it. Now somebody grabs Claude Lemieux down in the corner, and that's the way the first period concludes between Team Canada and Team USA. Two old buddies.
Well, United States, we knew were ready to play this game. They've been playing very well in the tournament so far. Lemieux and I think Otto must be in the middle of that. I think that's a residual from what happened just near the end of the period. But the United States is playing as well as I think they're capable of. They're playing an excellent defensive game. Canada still not sharp, especially around the net.
Shots on goal in the first period. USA had 13, Canada 11. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Shift for Suter, who not only seconds before had nailed on a clean check Kevin Dineen down on the other end of the ice, and Dineen, his right knee appeared by the replays to give in as he was checked down to the ice, and he has gone to hospital, as Dan Matheson mentioned during the intermission. Well, Team Canada's got a bit of a chore in front of it. It has to get its game together, and when I mean together, it means they've got to get some cohesion to their attack. Something that Team USA has done a pretty good job of avoiding so far.
Here we go with Canada possessing the puck. Rochefort into center ice. This is Messier and Langway. Cut on the back of the neck in the first period. Back out there. Here's Joe Olato. Tried to get it to Carpenter. That's broken up. And now Langway, number 5. Two-time Norris Trophy winner from the Washington Capitals. Feeding it to Bobby Carpenter. Carpenter got to center. Now gets it again. Carpenter, number 21, sidesteps a check. Langway couldn't get anywhere, and back comes Hartsburg. Shot right on. Saved by Van Beesbrook. And now Eddie Olczyk feeding Carpenter, number 21. Carpenter and Rochefort to the corner. Rochefort jolting in. Now Presley off the boards to LaFontaine. Fiore out of the net to feed it up on the boards. Kicked in there, and Sutter gets it for Canada. Dropping it back, and Craig Hartsburg controls number 4. Over to Rochefort. Back to Hartsburg to Rochefort. Out to Howardchuk. Howardchuk, normally a center, playing on left wing. Now gets it ahead as Tocchet races after a loose puck, but Kelly Miller beats him to it. Miller for Team USA, number 11. To LaFontaine. LaFontaine couldn't get around Coffey. To Gretzky. Picked up by Coffey to Gretzky again. Gretzky moves in, shoots one, and that's high off the glass. Here's Brian Propp. Side of the net to Tocchet. He's knocked down. Gretzky trying to center. And now Miller gets it. Propp held it in. Miller battles along the boards and cleared the zone. Paul Coffey at the Team Canada blue line. Off the boards behind Gretzky, and Miller back there like a third defenseman was there to get the puck and fire it up the ice. Here's Murphy to Coffey. Paul Coffey on the attack. Coffey leaving it for Gretzky. Gretzky tied up, held it in for Team Canada. And now Ramsey back to the net. Reverses the flow, then fires it out. Held in by Crossman for Canada. To Gretzky. Now to Prop. Prop out in front. Backhander off the post, I believe, and into the corner. And then it's cleared away by Team USA. Fuhr plays the puck, and Crossman is back to get it. Crossman up the middle to Glenn Anderson. He's checked by Brook on the play. And Bork will try. Now to Mario Lemieux. Through the middle for Lemieux. Tries to center. Pass behind Claude Lemieux. And Brook has it. Claude Lemieux took it away from him. Now Mario Lemieux out in front. Anderson, big save! Van Beesbrook on Glenn Anderson, Canada's best chance. And then Chelios knocks his Montreal Canadian teammate, Claude Lemieux, to the ice. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Canada looking to move ahead of everybody if they can win this game, but they're having their difficulties, trailing 1-0 in this hockey game. And talk about having no friends and no quarter-aster given. Claude Lemieux found out from his teammate Chris Chelios.
Here's the face-off. He found out in the first period earlier from Chris Nyland. The Canadians are Canadians in the winter, but here in August and September, it's a different deal. Puck shot in by Mark Johnson, one of the members of that 1980 United States Olympic gold medal team from Lake Placid. The boys of winter, or the Miracle Boys. Puck cleared down the ice. Van Beesbrook leaving it for Langway. Flips it up for Aaron Broughton, number 10. Broughton from the New Jersey Devils ahead to Mark Johnson. Into Corey Millen now. Millen unable to get it in front. And going back is Rochefort, number 5. From the Quebec Nordiques ahead to Mike Gartner. Gartner poke checked nicely, and Mark Johnson quickly clears the zone for Team USA. Here's Rochefort, who's on defense with Larry Murphy, giving it to Murphy. Head manning it to Messier. Messier to Goulet. Goulet right in. Weak shot. Van Beesbrook a stick save. Puck still loose, but taken by Aaron Broughton, number 10. He's tied up by Howard Chuck. Howard Chuck still battling on the boards. Gets it to Messier. Back on the point to Murphy. Low shot. Just wide as it went off his stick. Aaron Broughton failed to clear it. Howard Chuck tried to send it to Messier, and now shot away by Kevin Hatcher. The length to the ice. Murphy going back to touch it. That's icing against Team USA. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
They haven't really got their game in gear yet. Although I'll tell you something, Dan, they're showing a little more here in the early stages of the second period.
Team Canada's outshot Team USA in the early minutes here in period 2. 5-0. There's a loose puck. Van Beesbrook, who just made his best save of this game on the last shift against Glenn Anderson, smothered it. Canada with a line of Gretzky, Prop, and Tocchet. So they've put that line back together after starting with Goulet on that line earlier in the hockey game. Here's Chris Chelios shooting it out of there. Olchek couldn't get it out. Now Gretzky cleared it over onto the open wing, and Gary Suter, number 20, for Team USA. Here's Suter moving it in, flips it into the corner. Going back to get it and firing it away is Crossman to Prop, ahead to Tocchet. Tocchet firing it around on the boards. Team USA, Olchek just fires it right back out. Joel Otto taken out of the play, and Bork is back for Canada, number 7. Bork to Prop. Prop to Gretzky. Gretzky trying to feed it through, but it's tipped away and cleared, but not out. Rochefort a good play to hold it in. Now Suter on the other side. Action in front of the net as Tocchet got involved with Kelly Miller, but no penalty call. Here's Hartsburg breaking up a play for Canada. Feeding it to center ice. 2-on-1 break for Canada. Lemieux shoots. Big Mario Lemieux scores. This game tied 1-1.
Here it comes, and this is the first time in the hockey game where the U.S. has made it a mistake. Hatcher's the only one back on a 2-on-1. Oh, I'll tell you, he had Van Beesbrook leaning the wrong way. He dropped his shoulder, looked like he was going to go for the one side, and gulped in the far side of the net. A 2-on-1, and Mario Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux, his first goal of this Canada Cup. He used K.Lemье, his winger, as a decoy and blasted it. Back comes Team USA with a shot up high off the glass. And here's K.Lemьe firing it in. He's out there with Mario Lemieux and Anderson. Team USA break it up, and Chris Nyland takes a hit from K.Lemьe. There's that Montreal connection again. Nyland has lost the stick, also loses the puck, and Brook feeds out on to the left side. Here's a chance for Kurt Fraser. But Pure comes out and intercepts the pass up and feeds it off, and here's Canada with Anderson. Glenn Anderson, number 9. Moving in, firing one. That's off a skate into the corner. Bill Housley back to get it. To Aaron Broughton. Into center ice. Picked up by Mark Johnson with a shot. Stick save by Pure. Now Howard-Chuck for Canada with Messier. Messier back to Howard-Chuck. Shoots one, weak shot wide, rebound, Messier, big slap shot, wide, and it bounces all the way back.
Notice one thing in the game now. All of a sudden, Canada, for the first time in the tournament, the so-called transition game is working for them. They're turning it over, and they're coming back up ice very quickly.
Here's a shot from the point, rebound. Ottawa whack at it, and Pure had to stop that, and then Ottawa and Messier almost get into it. Housley clearing it in behind the net, and Pure is there to grab it and smother it. Well, the action is heating up again. A 1-1 game here in the second period. The scoring play, Mario Lemieux from Hartsburg. 5:27 the time in the second period. And there is Big Mario.
Big Mario is right. What a shot he let go. And there's Big Joel, who's supposed to be looking after Big Mario, at least as best he can. Maybe the two biggest guys in the tournament. Joel Otto, 6'4", 220 pounds. And when you think of 6'4" and 220 pounds and you try to match him with a hockey club, you automatically come up with the Calgary Flames, who love those big guys. That may be the toughest guy in the building right there. Mike Keenan, who's had some tough decisions to make and has not hesitated on any of them.
Here's a centering pass for Team USA, and a shot and a save as Bork came out and made a fine defensive play. That was Wayne Presley, number 14 from the Chicago Blackhawks, who almost gave Team USA the lead.
And Ray Bork, who came up with kind of a smothering sprawl across the front. There's the defending Norris Trophy winner. Sometimes you get this award for being a offensive type player. There he came through with a very big defensive play as he got down and prevented Wayne Presley from picking a corner.
Team USA with a line of LaFontaine, Presley, and Miller. Canada with Gretzky out there between Crop and Tocchet. Face-off one, Chelios blasting it wide. And Tocchet comes up with it. Trying to clear it, knocked down by Kelly Miller. Now Hartsburg trying to slide it up. Suter a drive. Pure the save, rebound. Slid wide of the net as Presley took a whack at it. Now Chelios digging in deep. Kelly Miller backing him up for Team USA. Miller behind the net. Presley centers. Miller shooting. Pure without a stick. Made the save. And then smothered it. And then Hatcher, or at least Hartsburg and Presley almost get into it. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Running has changed dramatically over the last 10 years, mainly because of what you put on your feet. Now, what science and technology have done for the running shoe, Mega does for the hockey skate. Mega, the first skate bioengineered to work with the foot, providing greater flexibility and faster power transfer. Mega, proven and preferred by hockey superstar Raymond Bourque. Catch up with hockey's breakaway innovation, Mega, at your nearest Micron Mega dealer.
Well, we got penalties off and all of that. Presley and Hartsburg are going off, roughing. He stopped some of that stuff. Probably a good call to make at this particular time. Things getting a little heated out there as he's getting around that net a little bit. Canada's outshot the U.S. 7-4, but remember, they had a 5-0 lead in shots on goal, and suddenly they got the pressure going on Grant Fuhr again, who's made a couple of pretty good saves. There's the little incident in front of the net between number 14 Presley and number 4 Hartsburg.
Joel Otto and Bobby Carpenter will be up front for Team USA. Mario Lemieux, once he gets a new stick, and Mark Messier will be Team Canada's forwards. A little more skating room here with each of these teams going to be a man short.
There have been only 2 penalty situations or manpower situations in this game. Both of them have gone against the U.S. Carpenter for roughing in the first minute of the game, and then Otto went off for interference after dumping Messier at the 17:21 mark.
Suter feeding it in for Carpenter. He's taken out. Larry Murphy comes up with the puck to Bork, and Ray Bork trying to feed it out of there. Otto knocked it down. Here's Carpenter. Carpenter dropping it back to Chelios. Backhander deflected. Fuhr, a big save there. That shot hit somebody in the slot area and changed directions, and Fuhr had to be brilliant.
Well, what a deflection was Carpenter's as he just got the shaft of his stick. You watch him in front of the net now. The idea is get in front. There it is. And boy, I'm going to tell you something. These goaltenders have been pretty sharp in this game. Now, Van Beesbrook is one of the best one in the league, and there's no doubt about Grant Fuhr either. There's Chris Chelios, who makes his home in San Diego right now. And obviously doesn't spend a lot of time skating during the summer months. But Chris went to the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League before going to college. Was the most valuable player in that league. After his folks moved out to San Diego, he went north to Moose Jaw. Played there before going to college.
Each team still a man short. Canada from the face-off with Paul Coffey. Firing it up on right wing, and here's Messier with Mario Lemieux. Poke check by Hatcher to break it up, and John D'Amico whistles the play down on an offside. 1:25 remaining in the penalties to Hatcher, or pardon me, to Hartsburg, and to Wayne Presley of Team USA.
Kevin Hatcher there from Detroit, another one of the Detroit players who stepped out of into the NHL at the age of 19, straight out of North Bay. And I guess you don't mess with that big guy either. He spent a lot of his off time as a teenager working out in the Kronk Gym in Detroit. That is the gymnasium that, among others, produced, I guess, Milton McCrory and Thomas Hitman Hearns.
Here's Bob Brook for Team USA. Now Howard Chuck trying to hold it behind the net. Couldn't, and Canada come up with it, and controlling it is Doug Crossman. Over for Howard Chuck. Dale Howard Chuck, number 10, with Lemieux. Howard Chuck now trying to feed it through for Bork. Hatcher intercepting. And back comes Kevin Hatcher, number 4. Hatcher fires it to Miller, misses him, and Crossman goes back. Canada won, Team USA won. Here's Bork into center ice. Knocked down by Howard Chuck. He carries in, fakes, trying to work around Housley. Housley stayed right with him. Now Mario Lemieux has scored the goal. Lemieux flipping it into the corner. There's a big jam up there, and a stoppage in play as neither Howard Chuck nor Mike Ramsey seem to be worrying about the puck more than just holding it there.
Dale Howard Chuck. Not too many first overall draft choices, interestingly enough, in this tournament. Here's one of them, though, in 1981. Who's the other one? And I can tell you, he wears number 66. Not a bad one. I guess we would mention 99, except for there was a little deal went on there, and
he didn't go in the draft.
Drafted. Started his pro career in Indianapolis at some point.
Here's Messier now out there with Gretzky and Coffey. 26 seconds left in the penalties. Face off deep in Team USA's end. Housley. Messier wins the draw. Messier trying to get away from Housley. Now it's centered, but Messier couldn't get a shot off as Gretzky got it in front. Here's Messier again. Leaving it for Coffey. Coffey checked before he could shoot on a very Good defensive play along the boards and at the blue line. And it was Carpenter that made the play. Here's Messier moving in. Rochefort's shot deflects wide. Penalized players are back on, and now an injured player down on the ice for Team Canada.
It's Coffey who's down there, and there's a great deal of concern being expressed by Normand Rochefort, who's standing right there. He went down on that check right at the boards as he was pinned in there. Now he fanned on the shot as he was checked. Now, I think he got bumped up against that stanchion. No, it isn't. It may have been his ribs. And you can see the grimace there. He is in pain right there as he was checked in against the boards by Bobby Carpenter. We'll take a break right now. A 1-1 tie. This is the Labatt Canada.
To the Montreal Canadiens, former GM and coach of the Buffalo Sabres, and also at one time with the St. Louis Blues.
And a winner and a loser in the Canada Cup as a head coach. Here's the injury. Good, solid check up against the boards. Bobby Carpenter has really shown some aggression in this game. I'm sure that's going to make the Rogie Vachon, the people who run the Los Angeles Kings, very happy. A terrible year last year. Saw him go from 3 different teams. And Coffey now up and being assisted towards the bench. We'll see what the disposition is from that point on. But he obviously took a shot on the ribs as he hit the dasher board there. At least that high board along the glass.
You were speaking of Carpenter. He went from Washington to the Rangers to Los Angeles, and Bob Johnson today at Team USA's workout was just raving about the play of Carpenter as a left winger, particularly on this USA squad. You get the feeling Carpenter's ready to have a big year in LA.
Well, a 53-goal scorer. As a matter of fact, the highest scoring American in NHL history in terms of goals, and he went from 53 to about 25 to 9 in 60 games last year. Nobody could figure out what happened to his game, except for he lost complete confidence in himself.
Here's Howard Chuck for Canada, moving in, sliding it in behind the net. Brent Sutter there to Howard Chuck, shot, saved by Van Beesbrook, and with the help of Chelios, covers up on it. And then a skirmish in front of the net. Howard Chuck down at the bottom of that pile, and he's upset at somebody, and I'm not sure. Oh, we'll know momentarily when they untangle here.
Well, now we know why we have a Canadian and an American linesman out there. Ted Sater working behind the Team USA bench. Good chance again to take a look. There's Sutter, very much involved. I don't think Howard Chuck got the kind of wood on that shot that he really wanted, and it allowed Van Beesbrook to react. Now here comes the pileup as Van Beesbrook covers it up.
It was Suter that knocked him down, and that's the guy Howard Chuck was upset at.
And we're going to, the penalty gate is open, so there's going to be a penalty handed out, and headed for the penalty bench is Suter again.
He signals interference.
Let's take a look at it again. Watch number 20. He's going to put the clutch on Howard Chuck. That's it. I'd say that's interference. I'd say that's something. Call something. I don't know. I'm going to give it a name, but give it a penalty. Anyway.
Well, I call it charging. I think he signaled interference, but they announced it as charging. So Canada will have a power play, and Ron, they've really struggled in the power play. Team Canada's had only 1 goal in the entire series so far, and this their 3rd game.
You're batting 100. You don't stay in any league.
1 for 10.
1 for 10. USA penalty killing, by the way. This would be the 15th advantage against them. They've allowed only 1 goal. That's almost 93% penalty killing. So you can see why they've been successful in this tournament.
Their penalty killers now are Otto and Carpenter, with Langway and Hatcher on defense. Here from the face-off, Canada's Howard Chuck in the corner. Trying to center one, got it to Brent Sutter, back to Howard Chuck. Now on the point to Murphy. He couldn't hold it in. Murphy tied up by Joel Otto. Now Murphy to Ray Bourque. Here's Bourque for Team Canada to Howard Chuck. In behind the net to Brent Sutter. Back to Murphy. Over to Bourque, and he couldn't handle the pass, and Canada has to drop back. Murphy being watched by Carpenter. Into center ice with a pass to Howard Chuck. And Gretzky had gone in ahead of the play, and it's offside. 1:21 left in Suter's penalty.
Well, you get used to the way a guy gives a pass, and all of a sudden you saw what happened with Coffey right at the point position. The puck came in, kind of handcuffed him a little bit. You're used to the way the motion of a stick and so on. You can anticipate where the puck's going to go. I don't think Coffey really was in sync with his point man mate Ray Bork in that particular time.
Good to see that Coffey's right back out there as a point man right now with Bork. Gretzky's up front, so is Howard Chuck, and so is Brent Sutter. Here's Howard Chuck trying to flip it in. Sutter couldn't get anywhere, and Bob Brook now trying to fire it away, and does. He and Kelly Miller are now the penalty killers for Team USA. Gretzky for Canada. Number 99 firing it in. Van Beesbrook steers it away. Ramsey trying to clear it. Coffey couldn't knock it down, and Canada has to retreat. 50 seconds left in Gary Suter's penalty. Canada changing on the fly as Coffey comes out of there. Fires it in. Messier digging in. Messier fired behind the net. Gretzky up front. Save Van Beesbrook. Gretzky came from the side of the net, tried to pop a quick one in, but John Van Beesbrook coming up with a big save.
Well, there were two teammates working together, Messier and Gretzky. But the U.S. is beating Canada to the puck here. In comes the defenseman, in this case, Bork, but in there to clear it away out to the blue line and then out to center ice. It's just a simple matter in that case of trying to dump it in, but not getting in there quickly enough to get to the puck.
8:40 left in period 2. 37 seconds left in Suter's penalty. Otto wins the faceoff, and it's Hatcher clearing it down the ice for Team USA. Bork back to get it. Bork and Coffey, the point man, gives it to Paul Coffey. Coffey to Messier. Shoots wide by a couple of feet. Now Bork. Otto tied him up. Here's Mario Lemieux. Across on the point. Coffey centered. Knocked away, and then Carpenter there to fire it up for Team USA, and just 5 seconds left in Suter's penalty. Here's Bork. Suter's back on, and Canada's only 1 for 11 on the power play in this Canada Cup. Here's Mario Lemieux leaving it to Messier to Rossbourg. Van Beesbrook got a piece of that, and Corey Millen clears it into center ice. Back after it is Canada as they clear it down the ice, and now as Ramsey was knocked down, I think, by Mario Lemieux as he was going to the bench. Out of the sight of the referee. So they had angered Mario Lemieux. Here's Rochefort to Tuckett. Canada and Team USA tied at 1. Brent Sutter getting away. He's checked, and Corey Millen in this hard-hitting game fires it back in. Hartsburg for Canada. Beating Claude Lemieux, number 32. Quick shot, Van Beesbrook to save. Claude Lemieux. He's able to center it. Meanwhile, a big check on Housley in the corner by Tocchet, and he's been injured, and now a crowd around Rick Tocchet.
Well, I'll tell you something. That was the toughest-looking pick I've ever seen, including the National Basketball Association. Tocchet just nailed Housley, and he's down in the corner, and he is seeing the proverbial stars. He's had the wind knocked out of him. We'll take a break while I try to revive him. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Phil Housley is up. They managed to examine everything and find out if all the parts were there. But as I mentioned, what a tough pick being run here. Now watch, coming out of your screen from the right comes Rick Tocchet. Whoa. That's a charge. It could have been interference, except for I guess they practically made an impression on him. Here it comes. Boom. That's interference. But then when you hit a guy that hard, that's charging.
Tocchet gets a penalty. Housley apparently okay and out on the ice now, and Team USA will have a power play out of this. Housley and Suter will be the point men. LaFontaine is going to be up front. Corey Millen will be on right wing, and on the left side will be Bob Carpenter. Team USA really missing a key man in Joey Mullen, a 47-goal scorer. Unfortunately, he couldn't answer the bell tonight.
Well, he's suffering a knee injury, and they hope to get him back. But he, of course, is a very valuable. I don't know why Keenan's so upset. They're just not allowed to run that kind of a play. A discussion at center ice right now. Carl Gustav Kaislav of Finland is the referee, and I have to say this: he's called a pretty good hockey game so far. He's missed a couple, but basically he's had the game very much under control. There's Bob Johnson looking at. Take a look at it again, and that's Lemieux going in. Housley checking on him, and here comes the locomotive. This one's going to make a few highlight films, I think. That's just even left his skates to make that check. Anyway, 2 minutes.
And Team USA in this 1-1 game with a key power play situation here.
They are 0 for 8 on the power play, by the way. So while their penalty killing has been great, their power play has been not very good, as one would expect with a team that bases its whole game on defense.
Housley back in action, giving it to Joel Otto. Otto to Carpenter, but off his skate. Gartner trying to steal it, and now Suter gives it to Carpenter. Carpenter with a pass to Corey Millen, number 9. Millen is the only player, by the way, doesn't play on a National Hockey League squad last year for Team USA or on Team Canada. Everybody else is an NHL player. Here's Otto. Back on the point to Housley. Housley to Carpenter. Carpenter shooting. Pure the save. Goes to both knees to cover up on the rebound.
I'd like to remind you that coming up in our second intermission, we'll be guesting with Team USA and New York Islander player Pat LaFontaine, very personable fellow who will be talking with Dan Matheson. Mike Keenan, the coach, as you take a look at this sequence, Mike Keenan of the Team Canada coaching staff at the Toyota scoreboard, and Brad Park will be along with highlights. Here comes the play in front. Nicely moving this puck around. Canada moving into the box. Here comes the shot. Pure in perfect position. Makes the save.
Mike Keenan looks up at the clock. It shows a minute 20 left in Tocchet's penalty. Otto on a face-off against Messier. Here's Housley. Shoots wide. And just wide. Suter tied up by Sutter. Now on the other side, Carpenter takes a hit from Rochefort. Now to Otto, back to Carpenter. Carpenter dropping it back to Housley, to Carpenter again. Centered it, knocked away at the Team Canada defense by Crossman. Housley got it to Suter. He was checked, and Housley had to hustle back. Now Carpenter. He got a stick up and knocked Rochefort flying as he defended himself. And we've seen more hitting tonight than we have in any other game in this tournament, that's for sure. Here's Housley. Feeding LaFontaine, cutting in. Centered. Oh, big save. Pure rebound. He stopped that too. On the rebound by Presley. Pure with 2 back-to-back dazzling saves. 25 seconds left in the penalty. Suter got it to center, but it's shot back in by Canada. Here's LaFontaine, number 16. Feeding it into Presley. Presley back to LaFontaine. Back to Presley, but Gartner is there, and he clears it by Mike Ramsey down the ice, and that will kill off the final seconds of Tocchet's penalty. He's now back on. Team Canada at full strength. Here's Ramsey, and Tocchet takes a run right for the penalty box and hammered him. Back is Olczyk with a shot. Stick save, Pure. Presley takes a hit on the other side from Bourque, and then the puck comes to center ice. Chelios back to get it. Over to Olczyk. Now breaking in is Canada. That play I thought was offside, but they don't whistle it down. And here's Chelios to LaFontaine, who scoops it in. Hartsburg back for Canada. 4.5 minutes left in the second period. 1-1 the score. Here's Bourque. Ray Bourque with a pass to Lemieux. Knocked away and quickly cleared back out into center ice by Langway. Now Hartsburg. Now Langway to Nyland. Almost had a breakaway, and Pure comes out of the net. Here's a loose puck centered by Team USA. Hatcher at the point. Firing it around on the boards. Kurt Fraser's there. So is Chris Nyland as they both battle Hartsburg. Fraser centered it. Tipped away, and Langway has to chase back. Now Gretzky picks up a loose puck to Olczyk, or at least to Gula. Into Gretzky. He's not flying. Vance Holler, but no penalty. Back comes Bob Brooks shooting it in. Murphy taken out of the play. And Mario Lemieux quickly clears it into center ice. Suter back to get it, and then Mario Lemieux knocking Suter down, and then Brook comes after Lemieux, then Fraser does. Actually, it was Nyland that Mario Lemieux leveled, and that draws the crowd to center ice. Now Chelios and Murphy trying to get into it.
Here it comes, and Mario Lemieux took a shot from Nyland. Now Nyland, combed him with his stick.
Lots of fun and
still involved. We're going to get a double minor called here, or at least 2 minors called, but Nyland was going to get away with this one. He's still talking. Now he's talking to Coffey and Murphy. Here it is. Now he gave the little shot there, but yeah, but obviously there is the penalty, and Lemieux got that, and then Fraser got involved, Kurt Fraser, and so they evened it up that way.
2 minutes for roughing to Team Canada, number 66.
Fraser gets a minor for roughing.
2 minutes for slashing.
And Mario Lemieux gets a minor for slashing. So each team a man short.
I'll tell you something, we get so wrapped up in international hockey and the beauty of the game, and no one will contest that. But what a terrific hockey game this has been, Dan. The crowd is into it. The players are into it.
Now they're going to send Nyland into the penalty box.
Well, he spotted the other one then.
I think Nyland is going to get a misconduct.
Yeah. Well, let's give the referee some credit here. There's been every opportunity here for the emotions to run away with this game, and he's kept a very tight rein on it. That's a perfect call to make at this time.
It's a 10-minute misconduct to Nyland. 3:31 still to play in the second period. You're not going to see a knock them down, pick them up, and knock them down again game like this every night of the week, because nobody'd have much left.
No, but they're both playing for their countries. Clearly, the emotions are there. See the guy on the left there? He was the coach of Team USA back in 1976. One of the co-coaches, Harry Neal, who at that time was in the WHA. We're going to take a break. It's Scotty Bowman and Harry and Chris Nyland, a 10-minute misconduct. All of that coming at the 16:29 mark of the period. 1-1 tie, 3:31 remaining in the period. Shots on goal in the period favor Canada 12-9.
3:31 left in period 2. Mike Keenan looking on. He's been unhappy with the officiating almost from the outset of this game. 1-1 USA and Canada. LaFontaine has scored for Team USA, and Mario Lemieux has scored for Canada. Here's Carpenter, who's played a fine game, giving it to Otto. Otto, number 29, dropping it to Chelios. Shooting, Fjord the save, rebound, cleared by Bork, and that was a close call as Bork now does some nifty stick handling. Then loses to Otto, but Bork recovered and slid out and broke it up, and Crossman feeds Brent Sutter. Chelios intercepting. Number 24, Chris Chelios from the Montreal Canadiens. For Team USA to Joel Otto. Ahead to Carpenter. Fired it in, knocking it down and starting back. Crossman to Howardchuk. He gets knocked down, and then it's knocked away by Suter down the ice with Bork back to get it. Bork cleared it off the boards, and Hatcher goes back into Team USA's end of the rink. Rink wide to Rod Langway. Off the boards to LaFontaine. Coffey broke it up. Chopped back in by Canada, and Van Beesbrook leaves it there for Hatcher. Hatcher to Langway. Langway able to clear it into center ice. And Paul Coffey has it for Canada, giving it to Rochefort. Now to Messier. Teams each a man short. Messier to Gretzky. Into Rochefort. Just dumped it into the corner. Nobody there, and Langway able to get it and makes a little pass to Hatcher. Hatcher into center ice. Feeding one to Kelly Miller. Miller tied up by Rochefort. Then Coffey cleared it away. Here's Gretzky. And on the fly is Mike Gartner. Taken out by Ramsey on the play with a hip check. And Hatcher quickly into center ice. Here's Aaron Broughton with LaFontaine on a 2-on-2 break. And Hartsburg broke it up. Now Fraser and Lemieux out of the penalty box. Here comes Hartsburg firing it in. Going back to get it is Ramsey, number 3. Out onto right wing for Fraser to Millen. Now a chance and a shot wide by Ramsey. Meanwhile, play had been called. And what happened? Something happened on the way to Team Canada's bench, I believe, that the crowd was hollering about.
Right. Okay, we had too many men on the ice called. NHL linesman, I think, is going against the United States. So with 1:12 remaining, Canada will go on a power play here on the too many men on the edge. Now see if we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count the goaltender, that's one too many. I'll tell you one thing, they're a flying wedge though, Dan. They're in order out there. So,
yeah, they were all playing their position.
Yeah, right there. Again, we remind you of our upcoming intermission. Should be an interesting one. Pat LaFontaine of Team USA. Mike Keenan, coach of Team Canada. We'll have the Toyota scoreboard, and Brad Park will be around with the highlights. All that coming up in our second intermission. There's Mike Keenan. Getting a little tense back there. It'll look like he did in the month of May.
1:12 left in the period. Canada 1, Team USA 1. And Ed Olczyk, number 26, will serve the penalty for Team USA. Canada with the man advantage here. They're 1 for 11 on the power play in Canada Cup play this year. Here's Ray Bourque. We're in the final minute of period 2. Bourque into Tocchet. Hatcher trying to take him out. Now Otto cleared it. Here's Mario Lemieux. Back to Hartsburg. Return to Lemieux. To Hartsburg again. Shoots one. Blocked by Langway, and then diving out Van Beesbrook to cover up on it.
That may have gone past Langway. It looked like it did to me, and then goaltender Van Beesbrook shoveled it back towards Langway. There's the veteran, two-time Norris Trophy winner. And he has got a 4-stitch cut under one ear. And you can see the blood on the back of his sweater as well. We talk about trophy winners on Team USA. There's those 2 Norris trophies won by Langway, a Vezina won by Van Beesbrook, and also by Tom Barrasso, the backup goaltender. Joey Mullen, a Lady Byng, and the Calder to Gary Suter and Barrasso. So they've taken their share. There's Tom Barrasso, who really had a terrific Canada Cup in 1984 until he met Sweden in the playoffs. And the first 4 shots went behind him. For some reason nobody can understand. He really came up shaky in the playoff, and he was replaced by Chico Resch in that playoff game. And USA eventually was eliminated by Sweden.
Team USA shorthanded, clearing it down the ice. Coffey back to get it. Coffey coming to center, firing it in. In comes Lemieux, trying to drop it back. Otto is there to shoot it away. Coffey and Bourque are the point men, with Lemieux up front with Howard-Chuck and Tocchet. Here's Howard-Chuck, dropping it back for Bourque. Shoots one. Saved by Van Beesbrook. Rebound. Poked at by Bourque. And Van Beesbrook grabs that. Just 9 seconds left in the period.
Well, we've been waiting for certain players to begin to take control. Look at Van Beesbrook talking to Mario Lemieux down there. But we've been waiting for players to kind of take control. And one guy who's really doing a job in that direction has been Ray Bourque in this game. He's done it both ends of the ice. We're talking about offensive defensemen and so on. But Bourque has been playing his defensive role very, very well. Befitting, I suppose, the current holder of the Norris Trophy. Talk about, hey, how about that for a couple of defensemen you'd start your team out with? 77 and 7.
I'd take him.
Take him.
Now Gretzky out there with Messier and Lemieux. 9 seconds left in the period. 58 seconds, by the way, left in the too many men on the ice penalty to Team USA. And a big face-off coming up here in Team USA's end of the rink.
Always interesting to see who they select to take the draw.
Looks like Mario and Joel Otto. Two 6'4" guys head on.
This will be interesting.
Let's see how Otto and Mario Lemieux make out. Just 9 seconds left in this period.
Look for Gretzky's position. Bring it right back to him if they can.
He's the only man back of the play near the blue line, just about 10 feet inside the blue line. And Lemieux gets it to Coffey, to Gretzky, closing in, shoots. Messier failed, now Lemieux shoots, he scores! Mario Lemieux!
What a great play. Now back to Glass, a pass. He shoots it in. Now Lemieux's going for the net. Now watch the move from behind the net. The other night, he had that opportunity and missed. Tonight, he puts it in, and it's his second goal of the night on a power play, and for the first time in this game, Canada has the lead. Now Gretzky flips it in. Messier's there, so's Lemieux, and Lemieux shot it in.
And didn't they work the face-off perfectly? Mario won that to Coffey, to Gretzky. He flipped it in front. Messier missed it, but Lemieux didn't, and puts it in, and Canada, with 3 seconds left in the period, takes the lead, 2-1. And now as the puck is dropped, play winds down to the end of the second period, and a big late goal. Mario Lemieux from Gretzky. Had a tough break for John Van Beesbrook, the Team USA goalie, on that last one.
Well, a great goal, though, when you think about it. The tremendous athletic ability of Mario Lemieux for a big guy to be able to pull that puck out quickly.
Power play face-off deep in the U.S. team end of the rink. Lemieux won the face-off, eventually scored the winning goal. Great play by Team Canada, and their face-off strategy worked to perfection.
Well, Lemieux has been very important, obviously, in this game with the 2 goals. Right next to him there, camera left, is Glenn Anderson. Just getting his game in shape here after he's been idled by a knee problem, but he's a very important member of this hockey club. They've been a little weak on the left side without him. They're hoping now that things will settle in that area of their game.
Third period underway. Here's Carpenter for Team USA to Olczyk. Trying to barge through the defense, couldn't, and Goulet beats Tocchet. Missed him with it. Gretzky hustling down. Langway beats him to it. Langway then forechecked by Tocchet. And Otto comes in on the right wing side to get it. Now to Carpenter. In across the line. Here's Otto back to Carpenter. Shot was blocked. And back come Canada. Here's Tocchet at center with Gretzky. Giving it to Gretzky. To Tocchet. Shot right on. Van Beesbrook stopped the booming shot there. And here's Crossman going back for Canada. Over to Coffey. And now stoppage in play. Apparently Team Canada's goal has been knocked ajar. And we get a stoppage. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, it would appear that we've got one line settling in, Dan. The 2 Lemieux and Gartner seem to be a unit out there, at least much of the evening.
They're out there right now for Canada, and Canada's Lemieux. Mario dropping it back for Hartsburg, shooting it off the boards and into center ice. Flipped back in by Presley. Coffey is there to get it. That's LaFontaine in forechecking, gets it loose. Back on the boards for Presley. Shot right on. Pure a save. Coffey clearing. Now Housley pinching in. To Miller behind the net. And Canada clear it out of there. Held in by Mike Ramsey. Shot it back of the goal, and Paul Coffey has it for Canada. Coffey almost lost it. Now picks it up. Cross ice pass. And it's Hartsburg shooting it up the ice. Back comes Ramsey. Mike Ramsey with a high shot. Big rebound on the play. Shot. Broughton fired it just wide from the slot. And Gartner starts back to Claude Lemieux. And now back of the play. A penalty coming up to Team Canada. And I believe Craig Hartsburg, an interference call. And Hartsburg will go for Canada.
Aaron Broughton was skating in front of the net and suddenly was upended. And Hartsburg is going to get the call on that one. Get a chance to see it here. I'll tell you, the one thing about number 10, Broughton, was well, I'll tell you. All right, I'll take it. I was going to say that looked like a dive, but then I was looking at the wrong guy.
2 minutes for interference at 1
interference call.
49 seconds.
Now, Team USA with a power play opportunity. They've struggled with the man advantage through the Canada Cup.
Just to update you on the Kevin Dineen situation, the verdict from the hospital where he had gone after he'd been nailed by Suter in the first period, twisted right ankle. It's a day-to-day situation, so that's the latest word on Dineen.
Here's Team USA with the man advantage. Rochefort clearing it away. Suter and Housley are the point man, and this is Suter, number 20. Out to Housley, number 6. Trying to feed it through. Back to Housley again. He missed it. And Suter has to hustle back. Messier and Gartner out to kill off the penalty. Housley to Suter. Suter working it out on left wing, and it's picked up there by Carpenter, number 21. Bobby Carpenter leaving it for Suter. Suter flipped it in front, deflected. Oh, and then fanning on a rebound in front of the net. And just missing it was Corey Millen. Close call there. Here's Millen again, but this one is called back on a 2-line offside.
And we look at Corey Millen, who is an Olympic player, by the way. He's on the Olympic team. And he's the only player on the ice tonight who is not a member of the National Hockey League. What an experience this kid is getting. Well, a reminder that the Labatt player of the game for Canada will receive the new Canon EOS autofocus that never misses. Stop the game with the only autofocus camera quick enough to capture all of the action. The Canon EOS, the official 35mm camera of the 1988 Olympic Winter Games.
Canada still short-handed. Hartsburg with 1:02 left in his penalty. Canada leading 2-1. Team USA on the power play with Chelios to Mark Johnson. Johnson flipped it in, but propped there to break it up, but he didn't quite clear it out. Mark Johnson gets a reprieve, gives it to Presley. Over to Chelios. Chris Chelios, number 24, out in front, backhander. You're the save, and then Rochefort clears to Gartner. Gartner gets it ahead to Propp. And Brian Propp, number 26, into center ice. He's checked, and here's Gartner. LaFontaine breaking it up. Gartner now centers. Crossman knocks it down. And then it's fired out of there by Mark Johnson. But back is Bork. And he clears it off the board down the ice. 15 seconds left in Hartsburg's penalty. Langway for Team USA. Over for Chelios. Chelios tried to pass it, picks it up himself. Bork there to break it up. And Ray Bork clears it away. Langway back to get it. Hartsburg's back on. Canada at full strength. Langway right in front of his own net, giving it off on the play to Presley, who couldn't get it out. Canada holding it in. LaFontaine flipped it. Tocchet knocks it down. Here's Gretzky to Tocchet. Shoots right on. Rebound to Tocchet. Flips it across. Backhanded. Just wide. From close in by Anderson. Now back to Murphy, a drive. Blocked at the defense by LaFontaine, and now Langway knocks Anderson flying, and Rod Langway will get a penalty, and Canada will go on the power play. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Interference at 4:22. Let's take a look at this whole sequence. Tocchet and Anderson very much involved here, as there's the penalty as Langway just upended Anderson right in front of the net. The referee's been right on top of those calls. Not an interference call, but two great chances. First Tocchet and then Anderson right in close just prior to the penalty call. Now Canada scored only its second goal in 12 power play attempts. Back in the late stages of the second period, the go-ahead goal. See how they do here.
They have quite an alignment. Lemieux, Messier, and Gretzky up front. Coffey and Bork, the point men. Here's Coffey to Messier. Back to Coffey. Coffey moves in deeper into the corner to Lou. Now it comes out to Gretzky, side of the net to Messier. Over to Bork. Bork sliding it to Messier. He lets it go to Gretzky. Back to Coffey. To Gretzky. Cross ice. Now to Coffey. Shot. Jammed at by Messier, and Van Beesbrook to save. Well, on paper, that power play should be pretty good, and it looked pretty good right there on ice.
They moved it around the outside, but they didn't penetrate, really. And I think you want to get somebody in front of the net. But you're right, on paper, the passing was very pretty, but nothing resulted. I think, as I say, you're going to need to... I'd like to move a Messier right in front of that net. Let him jam up the area there. Wayne Gretzky. You know, an interesting point was brought to my attention. There's a lot of talk in Europe about, oh yeah, but Gretzky's the best in Canada, and so-and-so is the best here, and Makarov or Karutov's the best in the Soviet Union. But only one player has played in 4 tournaments and won the scoring championship in all 4 of them.
And only one man in any league has won the most valuable player trophy 8 consecutive years that I know of.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the mark that distinguishes him from anybody else in any sport. Here's Messier to Bourque. Ray Bourque into the corner to Lemieux. Lemieux's pass intercepted. He gets it again. 45 seconds left in Team USA's penalty. Here's Lemieux into Messier. Missed it back of the net. Gretzky around to Mario Lemieux. Back to Bourque. Over to Coffey. Into Gretzky.
Get somebody in front.
Here's the pass. Messier was there for the deflection. They score! Mario Lemieux has the hat trick.
The key, they got somebody in front. Watch Messier, who got in front when that shot came in. Here it comes. Messier moves in front of the net. Gets the deflection. Now things are out of control for Team USA. And the goaltender down and out. And Mario Lemieux right there, marked off to the side. They weren't putting a man in front.
Nice little pass here by Gretzky from behind the net.
Yep. All he had to do was get it out there. But again, that deflection by Messier was the key.
Mario Lemieux with the hat trick. 5:59 the time. The genuine hat trick.
That's right.
He scored all 3 of Canada's goals
In a row, which is a true hat trick. Gretzky and Messier draw the assist. Another power play goal.
3-1 Canada. A very costly penalty there to Rod Langway and Team USA. Back comes Brent Sutter shooting it in. He's out there with Claude Lemieux and Gartner. Puck knocked into center ice and hustling back to get it. There's Rochefort over to Crossman. Canada trailed at one time, 1-0, but now they've scored 3 in a row, all by Lemieux. Chelios back for Team USA. Chris Chelios and the Montreal Canadiens, number 24. Tried to center, knocked away by Crossman. Held in, Suter, they score! Corey Millen deflecting it in. And Team USA is right back in the thick of things.
That looked like a pinball shot. Looked like it went off a couple of legs, and Millen just cruising around in front of the net, but it's Suter, number 20, who lets the shot go. It's cleared back towards the point. There it comes. That's Chelios letting the pass go back. Now the quick shot off one leg and into the net. Corey Millen will get credit. I imagine it'll be Suter and Chelios with the assists on the play. Now watch in front of the net. As it's just deflected, not much Fuhr can do at all, and it's deflected downwards between his legs.
From Duluth, Minnesota, Corey Millen from the United States Olympic team, scoring on a deflection to cut the Canada lead down. Now here's Gretzky, moves in, shoots up wide. Tocchet just missed on the deflection. And back comes Team USA. Kelly Miller getting it into center ice. Presley fires it in. LaFontaine tipping it into the corner. Presley taken out by Tocchet. And Bourque comes up with it. Clearing it out, and here's a long pass to Gretzky. Overskates it, Tocchet picks it up. Tocchet trying to flip it through. Into the corner for Gretzky. Tries to center to Goulet. He's knocked down. And Fraser cleared it out for Team USA. Ahead to Presley. Knocked away by Team Canada's defenseman Crossman, and then Gretzky flips it in. That's Bob Brook back to get it. Anderson hammered him. Now Goulet in the slot had his shot blocked as Gretzky set him up. Here's Anderson to Gretzky. Back to Crossman. Scooped it in front, hit Anderson with it. Then two Team USA players bump into each other, and Canada gets possession. Norman Rochefort shooting it in. Back to get it, Langway. Flip to center. Crossman there defensively to break it up. Tried to feed Messier. He didn't see it, and Brook, number 13, from the Minnesota North Stars, has it for Team USA. To Langway. Now to Chris Nyland. Nyland back on the ice after serving a 10-minute misconduct. Team Canada leading 3-2. And here's Ray Bourque to Messier, firing it in. Claude Lemieux hustles in. Here's Claude Lemieux, put it in front. Messier was open, fanned on it. Lemieux a shot, another one, he shot wide. Hard work by Claude Lemieux almost paid off. Here's Lemieux again. Now Howard-Chuck. And it's taken by Olczyk and cleared out for Team USA. Larry Murphy for Canada back to get it. 11 minutes left in the third period. 3-2 Canada. Here's Messier. Offside goes Canada at Team USA's blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
And the Lemieux goals here tonight. And again, I mentioned that he's played in 4 world-class tournaments. There's a World Championship. There's the World Junior Tournament in '79. A couple of Canada Cups. He's won the scoring championship in all 4 against the so-called greatest players in the world. So I don't think there's any doubt who ranks number 1 in the world right now. I don't know who will argue that point even.
Here's Team USA moving in. Chance for Carpenter. Carpenter put it right through the crease with a neat move. Now Mario Lemieux. Couldn't get anywhere this time. Chelios there defensively. Feeding it to Joel Otto. Otto checked by Mario Lemieux. He lost it, and Olczyk comes back to Carpenter, leaving it for Otto. And Crossman there to break that up. Canada able to clear it out as Gartner shoots it down the ice. Chelios going back to touch it. That's icing against Team Canada. 10-13 left in the third period.
Well, it's Chris Chelios, who is looking for a big contract for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know whether he's going to get it or not. Apparently, his agent presented Serge Savard, who was, of course, here in Hamilton, with a proposal for a 7-year contract and an option. He's not going to get it, I can guarantee you that, from the Montreal Canadiens, because Canadians aren't in the habit of giving even Guy Lafleur that kind of a contract, or Larry Robinson. But I suppose it's an interesting opening foray in the contract negotiation battle that generally goes on this time of the year.
By the way, a sellout crowd here tonight, 17,026 here at the Copps Coliseum. Here's Hatcher for Team USA, flipping it in front, knocked away, and Tocchet for Canada fires it out of there into center ice. Langway loses. Here's Tocchet with Messier and Gretzky, but they go offside. Gretzky, or at least Messier, in ahead of the play at Team USA's blue line.
3 times that man has had a 100-point season. First All-Star in '82 and '83. A great player. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
9:55 left. Gretzky, Goulet, and Tocchet, the Team Canada line, out against LaFontaine, Miller, and Presley. Hartsburg at Team Canada's blue line. Knocks it to Tocchet, now to Gretzky. Gretzky fires it in. Michel Goulet, number 16. Cleared it. Langway is there for Team USA. Lost it. Here's Gretzky cutting in. Drops it back. Goulet stopped by Van Beesbroek. Gretzky had a chance to shoot. Passed it off.
Threw it right into his skates. It was a little difficult to handle for Goulet.
Here's a loose puck in Team Canada's end. Goulet feeding it to Tocchet. Pass behind him. Back comes Presley. Presley knocking it into the corner. Taken out by Coffey. Now LaFontaine with the puck. Pat LaFontaine centered. Big slap shot by Housley. Went off a stick wide of the net, and back comes Canada with Hartsburg firing it in. Gretzky in to get it. Gives it to Howard-Chuck. Over to pick it up is Mike Ramsey. And as he tried to clear it around, he cleared it over the glass. 3-2 Canada leading. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
USA zone. Still trying to settle on lines here, Dan, and they're not coming together very well for Mike Keenan.
Here's Suter. Off into the corner to Chelios. Back to Gary Suter. Up the middle to Joel Otto. Otto, another of the Calgary Flames, upended by Murphy, and Murphy's going to get a penalty here. And Team USA will have a power play chance with 8.5 minutes left. Larry Murphy from the Washington Capitals to the penalty box. And they're going to call it holding.
Well, they put a little bit of a hold on this man as he was going in deep. Get a chance to look at it. You be the judge.
Canada's penalty number 8, Larry Murphy.
Little grasp there on the arm. Come down, so Murphy goes off, and now a chance for the USA to try and tie this one up on the power play.
They still have not had a power play goal in the Canada Cup tournament.
Well, and it's getting well into the tournament as well. They were 0 for 8. I think it's 0 for 10 now. And again, this team, they're trying to organize things. And you take a look at the people that they put out on the power play, and Pat LaFontaine is perhaps their best offensive player. You know, you need a Joey Mullen in a situation like that. Joey not available. But this kid has sure come on.
They're going to have LaFontaine, Olczyk, and Presley up front. Mark Johnson will be a point man along with Chelios. Already on the face-off, deep in the Team Canada zone, Brent Sutter and LaFontaine, a couple of Islander teammates, will battle for it. And it comes to Mark Johnson. Off the boards to LaFontaine. Team USA trailing by a goal and with the man advantage. LaFontaine back on the point. Good play by Brent Sutter. And Sutter breaks away with Messier. Sutter shoots one. Van Beesbrook a glove save. And with Messier bearing down, John Van Beesbrook held it.
Perfect positioning for Brent Sutter to intercept that pass. He just kind of stripped the whole play. Watch number 21. Well, this is right after he'd intercepted it. He's on his way back down the ice. He got the defense caught a little bit. That riser at Van Beesbrook got the big glove hand up on it. Tough shot. That's a good save. Looked better on that angle. It was labeled. It could have handcuffed the goaltender. John Van Beesbrook, it's quite a story. He played at the Sioux in junior hockey after coming out of Detroit. Wasn't even the #1 goaltender up in the Sioux. He's come on to become Vezina Trophy winner and one of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League.
Canada still shorthanded. Crossman clearing it away. Here's Housley. Off the boards for Carpenter. He's taken out of the play. And now Millen giving it to Carpenter. Around for Joel Otto. He missed it. Housley into Otto in the corner. Back to Housley. Housley fakes the shot, gives it to Suter. Drive, deflected, Fuhr the save. Suter again. Into Millen. Back to Suter. Suter trying to feed it in front, gets it to Millen. A minute left in the penalty. Back to Suter. Housley shoots, deflected, just one. Suter behind the net to Millen. Fuhr cleared it away. Now Otto to Millen. In front to Suter. Save, another save on Otto by Fuhr. And it may have gone off the goaltender and then the post. I'm not sure.
I think it was. And Gartner, through all of that sequence, was playing without a stick.
Here's LaFontaine firing it in. 30 seconds left in the penalty. And going back is Housley. 20 seconds left in the penalty as LaFontaine stick handles through, fires it in. Olczyk in to get it, lets it go, and Brian Propp has it for Canada. Feeds Paul Coffey. Coffey just dumps it in. And that will finish the rest of the penalty to Murphy. Murphy's back on. 6:28 left. 3-2 Canada. Langway firing it in. Fuhr out of the net to fire it up on the boards. Langway held it in, but now here's Claude Lemieux to Mario Lemieux. Cutting in. Centered. Good defensive play by Hector to break up a 2-on-1. Now Goulet behind the net. Goulet was the man that was open in front of the net. But the good play by Hatcher, and the puck never got there. Here's Mario Lemieux, who scored all 3 of Team Canada's goals. Long pass. Goulet going in to get it. Lets it go, and Chris Nyland, number 30, back for Team USA. Trying to leave it for Brook. Brook centering pass. Nyland in the corner. Battling, gets it back to Brook. Gretzky has Brook tied up. Brook slides it in behind the goal, and Rochefort takes over for Team Canada. Now Brook dropping it back outside the line. Mike Ramsey carried it back in offside. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
There's big 6'4" Joel Otto, the Calgary centerman, who had a great chance on the power play. Watch him now. He's big enough to get right in there. He works his way in front. Got the puck coming in and then banged it off Fuhr and then off the post and then headed for the bench. And as he came to the bench, I'm afraid our friend Mr. Kaiser kind of got in the way of the train.
Teams at full strength, 5:25 left as Chelios fires low and just wide. Coffey trying to clear it. Bouncing puck, Millen trying to center. Now Gretzky breaks up. Gretzky to Tocchet. In across the line for Canada. They flyer combination. Prop trying to get it to Tocchet, but it's off the mark, and now Prop drops it back into center ice. Hartsburg flips it back in, and Chelios is there to get it. Chelios for Team USA to Suter. And then as soon as Tocchet touched the puck, the play is called on a delayed offside. In international hockey, you don't put yourself back onside like we've seen in the NHL in recent years.
As Rick Tocchet, I think he's settled in on the Gretzky line. They're just having trouble getting the other winger for Gretzky. I think the best line that probably Gretzky has ever played on was the line he had in the 1981 Canada Cup. A fellow named Lafleur played one wing, and a fellow named Perreault played the other wing. And against the United States in that tournament, Canada won 8-1, and the line had a total of 9 points. And then Perreault got hurt in the game against Sweden, and I think that probably more than anything cost Canada the Canada Cup in 1981. Well, I tell you, Lafleur, Perreault, and Gretzky.
Less than 5 minutes to play in the third period. 4:40 to be specific. Here's Larry Murphy. Now getting it to Glenn Anderson. Number 9, Anderson trying to go around Langway. Leaves it for Howardchuk. Hatcher has him tied up, and Langway's there to get the loose puck. Carpenter able to deflect it into center ice. Picks it up, this Carpenter, to Olchek. Olchek moved in, but was checked and back out by Bourque. Langway passing it off the boards. Olchek loses. Here's Messier moving in. He's taken out of the play, and Hatcher has it, moves it into center ice to Olchek. Olchek trying to center, and a sliding defensive play by Murphy to break it up. Murphy and Miller fight for it, and Murphy gets it to Bourque. Ray Bourque from the Boston Bruins to Larry Murphy. Into center ice. Howardchuk tipping it down near the line. Housley intercepts to LaFontaine. Back to Housley, but tipped away by Canada. Brent Sutter after a loose puck. Mike Ramsey knocked it away. Now it's Gartner. Housley breaks that up and drops it to Mike Ramsey. These two defensemen teamed up together from the Buffalo Sabres. Ramsey shooting it in. Now Canada drop it back of the net, and Doug Crossman off the boards. Here's Canada with Sutter breaking out. Sutter trying to go around Housley. Brent Sutter passes it across. Gartner in the slot. Center to Prop. Shot. Big save, and Beesbrook on Brian Prop right on the doorstep. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Starting to see the odd play start to click now, and here we're going to get a chance. This was just a complete miscommunication in here. That is Gartner feeding it in front, and Prop was right there. Got the first look. Couldn't get the second whack at it as the defenseman slid across in front.
Mario Lemieux, Claude Lemieux, and Goulet out there for Team Canada. Claude Lemieux on the boards, trying to get away from Suter, gets knocked down. Brook comes up with it, drops it to Chelios. Less than 3 minutes to play here in the third period. Here's Brook shooting it in. Crossman back after it. Mario Lemieux to Michel Goulet. Goulet centered to Mario Lemieux. Brook was there to knock it away. Chelios for Team USA. They're trailing by a goal. Now to Suter. Claude Lemieux there to intercept. Back comes Claude Lemieux. Stick handling in. Suter took him out. And Fraser feeds it into center ice. Here's Suter, number 20. Shoots one up high, and now back of the play. A penalty called. I think penalties against each team.
Well, I think Bob Brook upended Mario Lemieux coming through center ice. That is a penalty. We're going to have to see it here, but this will be a disastrous penalty with 2:16 remaining. But we'll see. There's just one gate open, so I think here it comes now. It's coming through center ice. You can see Lemieux go flying. And Bob Brook is going to be heading for the penalty box. Let's take a look at it. There it is, and I think he just gave a little extra to that. I'll tell you that Mario Lemieux does it all, doesn't he?
Costly penalty with 2:15 left or 2:16 left.
Now on the Bill Barber scale of things, what do we give that, a 5-9?
Bob Johnson doesn't give it much.
Now it comes at 17:44. Brook goes off for tripping. Canada's on the power play again, leading by a goal. As I say, a disastrous time for something like this to happen for Team USA.
Gretzky comes over the boards. So does Messier. Mario Lemieux stays out there. So it'll be Messier, Gretzky, and Lemieux up front. Bourque and Coffey the point men.
I give Kaiser, the referee, full marks for keeping this game under control, but he missed a call on the first goal of the game on a hook, and I think kind of missed it right there on that play as well. But basically, it's not so bad as international refereeing goes.
As international refereeing goes. That's well said. Here comes Coffey moving in. Centered. Wide open. Messier rolled off his stick. Lemieux to Gretzky. Big save, Van Beesbrook. And back comes Otto to Hatcher. Stolen by Gretzky. Gretzky moving in, but it's offside. And Team USA's blue line, 1:48 remaining. Gretzky starting to round into form as this tournament goes along.
Well, the other guy isn't doing too bad a job either. You get the two of them out on the ice, they can move it around a little bit, or the old terminology, they can dangle. Well, there's Coffey. There's the puck in the corner. Now here comes Lemieux after it. That was a chance there for Messier directly in front.
He made a move and the puck rolled off his stick.
And then a little later on, that was Lemieux and Gretzky. Canada has opened up the shots on goal here, 13-6 in this period. So they're going to get well over 40 on goaltender Van Beesbrook.
3-2, Canada leading, 1:48 remaining. Remember, no overtime. If it's tied, it just goes into the book as a tie. Canada on a power play, 1:32 left in Brooks' penalty, 1:48 left in the game. Coffey and Bourque, the point men. Now they drop it to Messier. Mark Messier from the Edmonton Oilers, the Stanley Cup champions. Feeding it to Bourque. He dumps it in. Fired back out. Messier taking over. Messier carried in with a couple of teammates, namely Lemieux and Gretzky. Trapped in the zone offside. We're down to 1:23 left.
I would like to say something about the way the United States has come along over the years. I think that the 1980 Olympics were probably the watershed mark as far as U.S. hockey was concerned. We look back at the very first Canada Cup, which was 1976. They had to rely on some veteran-type pros like Joe Norris and Dan Bolduc and Warren Williams and Harvey Bennett, Cap Rader, and a defenseman named Lou Nanny, Doug Palazzari, and Alan Hangslave, and those are the names of Team USA that year. They were not stars. Suddenly, 12 years later, you got the kind of players that are on the ice right now. Some of them won trophies in the NHL, all quality players.
Well, there are over 100 U.S. players played in the National Hockey League last year. 102, I believe it was. 1:02 to play. Canada still on a power play. LaFontaine can't get anywhere. Pocket knocked it away, and here's Mike Ramsey. Ramsey for the United States, but Brent Sutter checked him. Now Mark Johnson. Feeding it to Chelios, and Rochefort was there to break it up. Ramsey back to get it. 25 seconds left in the penalty. Shot into center ice. Brent Sutter for Canada, still on a power play. 20 seconds left in the penalty. 33 seconds left in the third period in the game. Brent Sutter tied up on the play. Sutter gets loose. 25 seconds left. And it's Crossman feeding it out on right wing to Tocchet. Tocchet flipping it in. Chelios back to get it to knock it away from Goulet. Brook is back on. 13 seconds left. Van Beesbrook trying to get off. Here comes Carpenter. Pokes it in. Pure cleared it away. Now Bourque cleared it to Goulet. Trying to get it out. 4 seconds left. Tocchet gets it. Shoots it down the ice. Game is over. And Canada remains undefeated. They defeat the United States 3-2 here in Hamilton.
Well, they finally began to look a little bit like a team. It took the United States to press them and push them into the kind of a game they gave the fans here, the full house at the Cup-87 in Hamilton, as they congratulate Grant Fuhr, who certainly was one of the stars of this game. And there are the standings up to the moment now. After the 3 games today, Canada with a record of 2 wins and a tie for 5 points. And in first place, the United States very much